July the 1st, 1916, was the worst day in British military history. German and Allied soldiers had faced each other for months, dug into trenches, winding 14 miles along northern France. The Battle of the Somme was to be the big push to break through the German lines.
In the 7 days leading up to the big push, 1.5 million shells were fired from the Commonwealth and French trenches down there in the valley to soften up these German trenches up here on the ridge. But the Somme wasn't a secret. The Germans knew about it, and so they just hunkered down and waited for the shelling to stop.
British generals had been planning the offensive for months. 7:30 in the morning was 0 hour. When British officers blew their whistles, the Allied troops went over the top. The Germans were waiting for them.
The Somme offensive itself wasn't flawed. It was just a case of, it was a hugely complex battle, and the tactics didn't quite keep up with the industrial hardware that both sides were able to bring to bear.
Some of the British soldiers were so confident the German defences had been destroyed that they just walked over no man's land, expecting no resistance.
At 7:28 a.m., 2 minutes before 0 hour, a unit from the Royal Engineers detonated an enormous mine. It had taken them 7 months to tunnel underneath the German lines and lay the cables. Soil was thrown up to a mile in the air. A British plane flying over no man's land recalled being knocked off course. The effect was this huge crater. But other than that, it didn't really do much to stop the German army.
The Germans used the crater for protection and met the British soldiers as they charged towards them.
They were basically killing a community. I mean, a village went, a street in a city, whatever. That was the other tragedy of that battle, is the fact that the cream of Edwardian youth died within perhaps 2 hours of the whistles blowing, you know.
By the end of that first day, 57,000 Commonwealth soldiers had been killed, injured, or were missing. Today, cemeteries, some with just a few dozen graves, dot the country lanes in this part of France. 100 years on, they are kept immaculately. The Great Thiepval Arch, on a ridge overlooking the surrounding valleys, is the largest Commonwealth War memorial in the world. On its walls are the names of 72,000 soldiers. Each one died on the Somme, but their body was never found, and so they don't have a grave of their own. The Battle of the Somme would go on for 5 more bloody months. When it finally ended, 1 million people from all sides had been injured or were killed. Alistair Bunkall, Sky News, the Somme in northern France.